farmers have armed themselves to oppose the farm strike. They call themselves the Law and Order League, and they're guarding farm product shipments through the picket lines. Meanwhile, reconstruction work is going ahead rapidly on the railroad and highway bridges burned by the farm strikers several days ago in a desperate effort to halt the movement of farm produce. Anti-picketing sympathy is growing stronger among the farm residents of this section, and the resumption of shipments is a welcome sight to the majority of them. But the trouble's not over yet. No, not by a long shot.
Representatives of every Indian tribe in the state of Oaxaca are here today to honor President Abelardo Rodriguez and his wife. The fete is known as Welawetza, an old Indian word meaning gifts and presents, and it signifies the president has the undying homage of the Oaxacans. After tribal beauties have laid gifts before the honored guests, ancient ritual dances are performed by the various groups. These Quilapam dancers from the valley of Oaxaca are going through a ritual that was old even before the Spaniards came. Seattle, Washington. Edward Floyd is only 13 years old, but he has grown-up ideas and grown-up ability too. This is a real automobile with a half-horsepower motor, which he made himself from odds and ends at a cost of $13. And note the ultra-modern design with engine in the rear. Edward carries a paper roof and does it at 8 miles an hour on a pint of gas a day. Now, how's that for enterprise? He'll make a name for himself someday. Boys, sell your papers. Kansas City, Missouri. Here's a real philanthropist. Louis Cumnow, a clothing merchant, is giving away 500 overcoats from his stock to unemployed men of the city. And what a break it is for these poor fellows, with cold weather adding to their miseries. Of course, it's not exactly like being measured to order, but in these days and times, a coat is a coat. Ooh la la, so it's come to this, eh? They're exhibiting transparent gowns in the salons here along Champs-Élysées. And what a kick it is for the boulevardiers. They may be wearing their dresses longer here in Paris, but they certainly don't run to colors. It's just about the last word in visibility. But don't be perturbed. This is only a lingerie show. You're not supposed to pay any attention to the gowns. Anyone can see through that. Aroused by the finding of Brookhart's mutilated body, a mob stormed the jail here to get his confessed kidnappers. Tear gas couldn't stop him, says Under Sheriff Hamilton.
We held the crowd off as long as the tear gas held out. But the crowd kept coming on, and we dare not shoot on account of the women and children.
From their cell windows, the two culprits could see the mob howling for their lives. Other prisoners saw and trembled too.
We could see the mob from the windows in our cells on the 3rd floor. They were demanding these 2 men. The mob came in up onto the 3rd floor. The boys were worried about whether they would get the right man or not.
Out into beautiful St. James Park, the whimpering pair was dragged. And on that tree, Thomas Thurman was yanked to his doom in less time than it takes to tell it. Then his body was cut down and burned. Meanwhile, 100 yards away, the other kidnapper, Jack Holmes, was hanged to another tree. Feeling was so great over the atrocious kidnap murder that Governor Rolfe himself condones the lynching.
The people of California are peaceable and law-abiding citizens. It's no wonder, after the body of young Brookhart was recovered yesterday, that they were so aroused at the kidnapping and the murdering of this young man that they momentarily forgot themselves and was determined to give notice to the world that kidnapping and the murders which follow it would not be tolerated in this state.
The county jail at St. Joseph, Missouri also was stormed by a mob, which overpowered sheriff's forces and a National Guard tank detachment, despite a heavy gas barrage. to get at a Negro charged with criminal assault. They wrecked the steel door and the interior of the prison, and the Negro was lynched and his body burned. Governor Park of Missouri is enraged over the mob violence and says he'll bring the lynchers to justice. Oh, what a terrible week America has had.
President Masaryk of Czechoslovakia, accompanied by his Minister of War and various army generals, today is leading a triumphant procession through the streets of Prague to commemorate the 15th anniversary of the founding of the Czechoslovakian Republic. It's the big day of the year in Prague, and the army's putting on an impressive demonstration. These new armored cars are being shown for the first time for the crowd's benefit. The Czechoslovakian army is modern in every detail, with first-rate field artillery and battalion after battalion of well-trained and well-equipped infantry. The little Czechoslovakian Republic means to maintain its integrity despite Europe's present war scare. Wild geese and ducks literally darken the sky over this ancient lake bed now, and the place is a hunter's paradise. It's a poor shot who can't fill a bag here today. Oops! There's one for the bag, all right. From behind dikes, under tumbleweeds, and in makeshift blinds, the gunners lie in wait. Sportsmen are here from all over the United States. A bag limit of 4 geese and 12 ducks is allowed each day, and there's hardly a one who doesn't bring down the limit. The TULE Lake region is noted as a stopping place for wildfowl en route from Canada to the south. These ducks stopped here just once too often. They've been watching the Army aviators, I'll bet. There's a beauty, all right. What a lot of duck soup that baby will make. They've struck gold on the Titus farm here, not many miles from Cincinnati. A homemade gold laundry has been rigged up. And believe me, with gold now at $33 an ounce, this outfit, which can handle 100 tons of pay dirt a day, is showing a nice profit. The strike has drawn many amateur prospectors to the scene. Boys, there's gold in that thar pan. The Berengaria is bringing in Maxim Litvinov, Soviet Commissar of Foreign Affairs.
I am looking forward to the great pleasure and honor of making the acquaintance of your illustrious President, who has given yet another proof of his wisdom and broad views by taking the initiative and addressing Mr. Kalinin. I should also be extremely glad to renew my acquaintance with your Secretary of State, Mr. Cordell Hull, whom I had the great pleasure of meeting at the London International Conference.
The Russian envoy is met by representatives of the State Department and transferred from the Berengaria to a government tug, which speeds him to the Jersey City Railroad Terminal, where a fast train is waiting to whisk him to Washington. It's a momentous visit, the first official one from Russia in 16 years. America, which turned him down in 1918, is welcoming Mr. Litvinov, this time with great ceremony. In Washington, he is met at the station by Cordell Hull, Secretary of State, and other dignitaries. It's a significant meeting, and a veritable army of reporters and cameramen are here to record it. President Roosevelt has sent his personal automobile down for Mr. Litvinov's use, as well as a fleet of motorcycle cops. The ensuing conference at the White House and with the State Department are expected to result in formal recognition of Russia within a few days. The Republic of China is holding its first national athletic meet here today, and although they have modern races and other events, it's the old-time sports of the Chinese people that prove most popular. The fame of Chinese archers goes back thousands of years. There's a record crowd out, including many Chinese flappers, to see the archers bend a mean bow. Keep your eye on the target. Watch it now. Smacko, a bullseye. One of the ancient games that takes the crowd is the pastime known as kicking the shuttlecock. If you don't think it takes skill to do that, just try it with the baby's ball. The athletic meet today commemorates the founding of the Republic. It's being held in Nanking's new $1 million stadium, and boy, they're getting $1 million worth of fun out of it, and I don't mean maybe. 46th state against prohibition is happy news for the grain raisers of the United States and for many others throughout the land. With an eye on December 5th, work is being rushed in distilleries and bottling works. Thousands are being called back to work in plants of allied industries. At least 500,000 new jobs are predicted as the result of repeal. From keg and barrel factories, perhaps the most closely allied line, immediate benefits from repeal extend into almost every line of business and commerce. However, everyone's not waiting until December 15th. The lid is off in many places, with the downfall of prohibition being celebrated in real old-time hilarity. Yes, and by the renewal of old acquaintances. Hotels and nightclubs report a real pre-war spirit among those revelers. Boy! Uh-oh! There'll be no more scenes such as this. Barrel after barrel of prize whiskeys destroyed by government agents. It's going to be a